Elizabeth, police believe at this point this was a domestic-related shooting. Behind me, this is the area inside the building where they store the ambulances, and there were people inside when the wall came tumbling down. It wasn't only here at Faith Community Church that police say Kimberly Mills tried to get away with some credit cards. 2 months before, police say she stole a purse and credit cards from Butchell Park Baptist Church and ran up more than $700. They were celebrating 25 years here at the Barnstable Brown Gala this year, and this is one of the biggest parties during Derby weekend. It was the perfect day to spend outside, but we may not be done with the rain just yet. Within the past hour, storms have rolled through, dropping more than 2 inches in the Louisville area. That means fans will no longer be here in the grandstand area. Instead, they'll be enjoying the concerts here down on the field. They say high water on the Ohio River is to blame. As WDRB's Emily Muir explains, some businesses are feeling the impact of the thin crowds. Emily? As hundreds of police officers, first responders, family, and friends made their way to Highview Cemetery in Nelson County. Fallen Bardstown police officer Jason Ellis made his final journey, followed by his canine dog.
Ready? Aim.
This law enforcement community from across the state banded together to salute the young man who was ambushed and killed as he was heading home from work.
Dispatch to 139 Adam.
A final call.
Dispatch to 139 Adam.
For the first Bardstown police officer to ever lose his life in the line of duty.
This is a final call for Unit 139 Adam. Officer Jason Ellis.
And a final goodbye from his family and friends to the man they say is nothing short of a hero.
Officer Ellis served the Bardstown Police Department and the citizens of Bardstown with honor, integrity, and distinction. Unit 139 Adam is out of service. He has gone home.
Walking around the place where home once stood for Matt McAfee is a reminder of what his family has been through.
It's heartbreaking. 8 years of your stuff and, 15 years of our marriage, it was in here.
Items that made up the home are now unsalvageable. When the family escaped a fire, they grabbed the kids and the clothes on their back. Personal items were left behind.
My cousin was here and her hand was like right there, and I was like, I just immediately lost it. My wedding rings, were inside. I don't always keep them on.
For days, they've been searching for that wedding ring. Then on Wednesday, while Trisha McAfee was working,
and found a chunk we couldn't move out, and we ended up prying it out, and it was a drawer.
Stuck to the plastic inside was her ring, a little black from the smoke, but still intact. Her husband posted this photo on Facebook of the ring, saying, "Will you marry me again?" and then went to her workplace to surprise her.
There.
It's a new beginning for the couple with a piece of the past.
If I found anything, this is what I wanted to find.
If there is one good thing to come out of the Memphis, Indiana fire,
I just have the best husband in the world.
this ring would be it. It's something Trisha McAfee says she doesn't plan to lose again.
He did ask on the Facebook page if you would marry him again.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Our marriage to us, it's strong, and it's just kind of a symbol of it.
911, where's your emergency?
I just saw an airplane crash. I'm here on Broadmoor Avenue, south of the airport.
Around 9:30 Thursday morning, the frantic calls to Columbus police began.
Yes, there's something happening. I'm calling. You're what? There's something happening. Help. Okay, ma'am, I have police on the way. I don't understand what you're saying because I cannot hear you, but I do have police on the way. Oh, it's a fire! It's a fire! There's something happening! Do you have a fire? Yes, not in my house. Go to my land. My doctor.
A single single-engine aircraft with 2 people on board crashed into this home on Broadmoor Lane. Inside the home was Haloko Nakau, who called her husband for help.
I'm very surprised. Suddenly, is big sounds. I heard big sound in the house.
She said, "Oh, house is burning, fire. So please come back soon."
The plane that crashed into this home was registered to Gerald Clayton. We're told he was the pilot. He previously lived in Louisville and moved back to Columbus with his wife to be close to family.
That's where they're originally from, up in Columbus, yeah.
Bob Breeden has been close friends with Gerald Clayton for 35 years. They attended the same church in Louisville, and Breeden says Clayton always enjoyed flying planes.
He was in the service and he flew the plane. Now, he made this plane itself. In fact, I helped him put a lot of rivets in it.
He even flew with Clayton one time himself, but over the years, he says the pilot wasn't flying as frequently.
He was having some trouble with the plane itself, but he got it fixed and said everything was okay.
Authorities have not said yet what caused the plane to crash. The FAA is still investigating. 81-year-old Gerald Clayton and 60-year-old Dennis King, his passenger, were both taken to the hospital for severe burns. Friends of the pilot are just thankful everyone survived and that the crash wasn't any worse.
I'm hoping, praying he can come out from under all of this.
Been in the military since I was 19. I went from high school to basic training, and the Army was my home.
It's a similar story for so many soldiers.
When I was told to go, I went. And I did it to the best of my ability.
One that doesn't always end the same way.
It was actually brought to my attention because when I came back, I was normal in my own case because everybody around me was doing the same thing.
Juan Guzman is a former soldier who spent 7 years in the military, most recently at Fort Knox.
So it's hard, and so everybody's learned to live without you. So it's hard to get yourself back into that group.
Guzman says he tried, but something just wasn't right. He was angry and wasn't his outgoing self. His daughter, 5 years old at the time, brought it to his attention.
She said I wasn't the same anymore. That kind of made me realize that something was wrong.
Juan Guzman is not alone.
I became paranoid that everybody was either watching me, trying to hurt me, was a threat to me. When I'd go in someplace to eat or go into Walmart to buy groceries, doing automatic threat analysis on everybody in there who would be the first person I would have to take out to get out of there.
They're struggling with a mental health disorder called PTSD.
PTSD, the first thing that goes is your sleep. So you don't sleep, you become grouchy and angry because you're not sleeping.
It's a disorder that can happen to anyone, but more and more we're hearing about soldiers battling this new war.
It is a traumatic event that has triggered this reaction in their body, and they're not recovering from it. It's not going away naturally.
Dr. Laura Johnson is a psychologist at Fort Knox. She says when soldiers return home from combat operations, they are screened on different criteria, including whether they are sleeping, eating, having nightmares, or withdrawing. But sometimes it can take a while for them to realize something isn't right.
It's not really full-blown PTSD for about 6 months, and that's when you start to, because otherwise it's just acute stress or an acute stress disorder, and they're reacting through that.
And even then, some still don't talk about it.
Well, they're not telling us what's going on, then we have no way of knowing.
To some soldiers, there's still a stigma surrounding PTSD that keeps them from getting help. Doctors say talking about it is crucial.
I wanted to, but in my head it's a career ender. I'm getting help.
Instead, Juan Guzman avoided crowds, turned to alcohol, and pushed his family away until he went too far.
I ended up overdosing. And I put myself in a coma for a month. Died 3 times that month. I had to learn how to walk and talk again. That's when eventually I got help.
We see the worst of humanity. I mean, the worst thing that human beings could do to each other, we witness.
This soldier is still struggling with PTSD. He was placed on medication, but this is another way he's getting help.
I draw a lot. That's part of my therapy that I've prescribed myself as art therapy.
He, like dozens of other soldiers, have turned to Christy Faulkner, the woman behind the nonprofit in Radcliffe, Kentucky, called Operation Resilient Warrior. She encourages alternative treatments rather than medication.
There are equestrian programs where they go and get to ride and care for horses, which helps quite a bit. Music therapy, art therapy.
And she says the therapy is helping the soldiers. Like them, Faulkner has also experienced PTSD, but on the other side of it as a wife.
It changed the dynamic of our family, what it was before, to the new, what I call the new normal, understanding why it's that way and adapting.
Dr. Laura Johnson says the military is taking PTSD seriously and raising awareness about it. She says Fort Knox offers soldiers different types of therapy and programs, including a warrior wellness group. They also encourage soldiers to get help at any time, including late at night at the emergency room on post. She says as the war wears on, more people are coming forward for help wrestling with symptoms, although it isn't always PTSD.
It has become more acceptable to seek help. It's become almost unacceptable not to seek help if you're struggling with something.
It's the soldiers who aren't getting help that are a concern. Suicides for soldiers nationwide are up, on average 22 soldiers a day. That's something those close to the health disorder are hoping to help prevent.
Because 22 a day is too many. One is too many. It is heartbreaking.
It's a sign of weakness if you stay in the fight, I think, if you stay in that mental fight. I think the stronger person is the one that can raise their hand and say, yeah, I need help.
It does not matter what anybody else thinks. You take care of yourself. And if you have a family, you take care of yourself so you can take care of your family.
Courtney, thanks. Attorneys representing Louisville Mayor Greg Fisher and the Ethics Committee will argue why Fisher and two committee members shouldn't be forced to testify in the ethics trial for Councilwoman Barbara Shanklin. Some Simpsonville residents had to stay in their homes for several hours this morning after a minor scare. Around 11:30 this morning, the fire department and hazmat crews were called to Old Beechdale Road after reports of a strong chlorine odor. WDRB's Lindsay Allen explains how one picture of this little boy posted to our WDRB Facebook page touched thousands of our viewers' hearts. Well, we are learning more about what caused Saturday's plane crash in San Francisco and why the death of one of the teenage girls killed may have been a result of the rescue and not the crash. 82, not bad at all. Thanks so much, Jeremy. Tolls appear to be unavoidable in helping pay for two new bridges. All right, Jeremy, thanks so much. Sam Swope is revving its engines for Corsair Children's Charity. More than 450 motorcyclists and drivers joined in for an 80-mile ride from Maker's Mark Distillery to the Corsair Shrine Temple.
We ride so the Corsair kids can walk. So the ride is fun with a purpose. The fun is the pleasure of the ride, the camaraderie, the enjoyment of riding through the beautiful back roads of Kentucky.
Great event, and there were raffle drawings and a silent auction. The grand prize offered a chance to win a new Harley-Davidson Softail Classic. This was the 14th year for the event, and they have raised more than $1 million for Corsair kids. High water on the Ohio River forced organizers to cancel the Madison Regatta racing events. Discounted Kentucky State Fair tickets went on sale today at Kroger stores in Kentuckiana. Customers can use their Kroger Plus cards to buy gate admission and ride tickets at a discounted price. People can also visit ticket offices at the Kentucky Exposition Center and Kentucky International Convention Center. After August 14th, only the State Fair will sell tickets. The State Fair runs through August 15th until the 25th.